So, 10 C's of survivability. Let's say collected by Dave Canterbury. I don't know if he invented it, but anyway, he collected them, put them together to make it, as he would say, dumb it down, to make it easier to make a. He originally called it an emergency kit. In my estimation, it's another version of the essentials that mountaineers put together back in the 1930s. All you have to do is add a first aid kit and hydration, and you pretty much have the mountaineers' essentials of survival. But that's beside the point. We're going over the 10 C's. If you have these items, especially the first 5 on your body, it's suggested you have them attached to your body in case you fall out of a canoe, down a mountain, things like this. You still have them on you, and you can use them to help you survive for 3 days, is what he estimates. With a few more items, you could probably survive much longer. So, anyway, so what are the 10 C's? That's what you're asking me, right? 10 C's are, anyone?
Cutting tool.
Number 1, cutting tool. Number 2, combustion device.
Cover.
Cover 3. Number 4, container. Number 5,
Cordage.
6,
Cover. Handling
device. This is where it gets, because it changes. Handling device, compass, cargo tape, cotton bandana, and a canvas sail needle. It gets kind of weird at the end. It's like, did you just throw that in to make 10 C's?
Can't be 6 C's and an S and a...
We get the 9 C's. Anyway, first 5, most important. You should remember that. At the end, I'm going to show you my kit and a few tips and tricks. And hopefully, you will also share any tips or tricks that you may have, so we can all gain in the knowledge. So, why do we have the first 5 C's? Anyone? I'll tell you. They're the hardest to reproduce from natural material. So if you don't have it, you have to make it. A knife would be very hard to make. Very, very hard to find a rock and split it into an edge. You can make cordage from tree fiber, but it takes calories and time. If you already have it, you're that much further in the game. It also takes the most amount of skill to reproduce. And we all know, the more you know, the less you have to carry. Right? Alright. So the third reason we carry the first 5 C's, well actually all 10, is they directly influence and affect our core temperature. Especially the first 5. Okay? What is our first cover? Anyone?
Clothes.
The clothes on your back is your first cover. So what you carry would be a secondary cover. So if you're prepared for what the temperature range is going to be, you're prepared. That's your cover. All these items with the proper dress and knowledge will help you with your time in the wild. I think it was James Burleigh said people who are trained to survive are more likely to be bitten by a great white shark or struck by lightning. Because you're prepared. I also suggest if you are going to venture into the wilds, buy the best kit that you can afford. It is your life, and you can't put a price on that.
$20.
And that being said, you shouldn't carry unnecessary items. There's a lot of clubs that will hike and they'll go ultralight or minimalist or both, and I think that's pretty interesting. But some of the items they carry aren't necessarily bulletproof, as Mr. Canterbury would say. So you might want to think that. Bulletproof is good. If you do fall down that mountain with your first 5 items, you want to make sure they survive the fall along with you. Out of all the tools, 10 C's, what's the most important?
Cutting
Cutting tool. Cutting tool is the most important. Why?
You can make all your other items with it.
There you go. That's the you can
And it's
make
the hardest
all
one
your
to
items
recreate.
with it. I have a story, quick story. I like history. There was a Cree Indian woman who I think it was the Mohawk tribe. They captured her, and she was a slave basically for about 3 years. And they would watch her very closely during the spring, summer, and fall. But during wintertime, they weren't too worried about it. So one winter day, when the snow came, she grabbed the knife and ran for it. So because she knew that they couldn't track her because the snow was coming down. All she had on her were the clothes on her back and a knife, and she survived the winter. She made all of her utensils, all of her tools, all of the traps. She was able to clothe herself, feed herself, and live and make it back to her tribe with just a knife. Pretty cool, huh?
Uh-huh.
Okay. The Swedish people have a saying, a man, let's say human, since they're women present, without a knife is a human without a life. Any questions so far? How am I doing?
Great.
All right, so I was really thinking hard about the C's and making it more than just a 3-day kit, and more something you can put into your daily life, like I do. And emergency kit for your car. A lot of people say, if the stuff hits the fan, bug out bag, things like that. So the other 5 C's that I would recommend is to include the calories, okay? And because you already have your hydration. So calories. We live in a modern world. Communication would be very, very good. From a personal locator beacon to cell phones to satellite phones if you're really in the boonies. All these things. If you can yell and someone can come and get you, well, that's a lot.
Whistle.
Whistle. Really loud whistle.
Whistle, so if someone's, a mile away or less.
Ham radio.
Signal.
There you go.
If you're 100 miles away or less. Currency. Money talks. Yeah. Carry money. Yeah, I'm out in the cold, but I can't get a hotel room. Well, I'm not just talking like folding money. I'm talking all kinds of money.
Electricity. No credit cards. Bring cash.
Also, one of the things that is really important is tools are very important because they can help you create other tools. Combination tool. This is a stretch.
That's exactly what I was saying.
It's very much of a stretch, but yeah, a multi-tool can get you pretty far. And it has another cutting tool on it and other tools. And then of course, let's say care for the first aid. In the first 10 C's, there are a few items that are care related. I would say the needle, the duct tape, or let's say Gorilla Tape because that's what Mr. Canterbury likes to use. And of course the cotton bandana. And a little bit of the cordage. You could probably get by with a little bit of that. Okay, so let's go.
Container for boiling things.
Boiling,
sanitize them.
Yeah, absolutely. All kinds of. So let's just go down the list. Since I suggest you buy the best 10C kit your money can buy. What would that kit be? Well, I won't talk about knives because everyone will start fighting. Everyone has their own opinion. So I'll start with the combustion device. this is what Dave Canterbury suggests. The Micro Inferno or the Mini Inferno. He always carries these. He says, you know, wouldn't leave the house without one. And for years, he suggested the Strike Force. So it's got a ferro rod with a striker and folds up to protect it in its own little case. And on the back, you got a couple Micro Inferno, Micro Inferno. So, but now, reading his new book, he suggests you buy the biggest ferro rod you can carry, and without a handle on it, because those will break off. You want to wrap Gorilla Tape around the handle and use that. That is his suggestion. Boom. There you go. Also, yeah. What a brilliant idea. Something that I do myself. So, actually, I'll go ahead and jump ahead. I do a little lock. This is just one of my tips here. And so it doesn't fall out. And it just locks on.
Shock cord? If you size it appropriately, the shock cord is the same way.
Shock cord. Is
So
this shock cord?
It is, and it has to
Boom.
stretch to get over
I did not know that. There you go.
Boom, shakalaka.
Shock cord. Awesome idea. So, biggest, baddest ferro rod you can carry. Going to cover. For years, he said 55-gallon drumliner.
So why do you like ferro rod? Before we move on.
Why
Why
do-
ferro rod over a big?
Oh, yeah, he does have actually 3. And you shouldn't just go out with just 10 items.
Redundancy.
There's always redundancy. That's a little misleading. I got 10 things, I'm good. No. 10 C's.
Okay.
You can carry multiple combustion devices. So he also carries a Bic lighter. He always suggests orange, the big Bic. Bic is king. He smokes. Mr. Canterbury smokes, and he's been doing it for years, and he swears by these. So here's another tip.
In cold weather.
They don't work in cold weather. That is true.
What doesn't work in cold weather?
The big. With gas, the temperature usually, it does something to the pressure. I had a Delta lighter out 2 weeks ago in Helen. Thing wouldn't light.
We learned that this morning.
Had that
Yeah,
problem before.
Yeah, but you can't keep it close to your body.
Keep
And I believe he carries like 2 or 3, one in his pocket, and
Just something to consider. And the flint will still work though.
the ferro rod will still work.
Exactly. That's the thing about it. Even if it's empty and it doesn't have any fuel in it, you still got that flint in there.
Another
Yeah.
element to consider is
To make sparks with.
if you're going to carry multiple lighters, I like to carry 2. I carry one Bic with a flint, and I carry one Scripto electronic, which is a piezoelectric lighter. And if you dunk it underwater and pull it right back out, it'll still light. However, the Bic you have to dry off to make it work.
Well,
So,
one of the other things that
different
running
types
it
of
down,
lighters
about this far
running
south,
it down your leg like
farther
this,
north.
just rolling that roller, it's done. It's already dried out enough so you can make it again. I used to do that with my Zippo too. I keep 5 fire starters in just a kit. My wife has her little kit, nothing but fire, and my little kit for nothing but fire. And we've got 5 ways of making fire.
Great. So let's keep all that till the end. I mean,
Yeah, sorry.
so orange Bic lighter, full size. Tip, Zippo tie. This is to keep the gas valve from being pressed in your pocket. Instead of a Zippo tie, you can also wrap some jute, which you can also use to help you start the fire to keep it from being depressed, and then also it's a way to hang it. Okay?
I was wondering how I was going to keep my lighter from losing all of its gas like that. Very good.
There you go.
Very good.
The third thing Mr. Canterbury always suggests is a Fresnel lens. Fresnel.
For now.
Let's not go there, guys. So, a little plastic card magnifier, because that's free. you're not using up any resources that you have. You're just using the sun. Now, you can only light fires during a bright day, but that's beside the point. Well, back to cover. So 55-gallon drum. He also, this space blanket. That's what he said for years. And now he's moved up to an oilcloth tarp and wool blanket, 100% wool blanket, because even if it's wet, it'll still maintain 85% of your body heat. Queen size is what he suggests. 100% wool. That's gonna be a big purchase.
Big,
That's a big
heavy,
purchase.
That's gonna be a big purchase. Another thing he also suggested, ponchos, military ponchos, and woobies. Woobies, you know, the insulating that goes underneath. Containers. For years, he carried, not this one, this is the backpacker. I don't even know if they make these anymore.
They don't make them. They make that one. They don't make the other one.
Right.
So he carried the 38 ounce. This is a 32 ounce, and he suggests you carry 32 ounce because if you use a store-bought purifier, tablet purifier, what?
A chemical.
Yeah, like
Chemical
chlorine dioxide.
32 ounces is usually the amount of water it's cleaning or purifying.
That's what the pills are sized to.
Yeah,
to 32 ounces.
purify.
So he recommends a 32 ounce stainless steel container. This is the one I carry now. But he's got to sell his stuff, and you got to take that into consideration when you're buying from people and looking at YouTube videos and everything. You say, are they in business to sell me this? You know. So think about stuff like that. So here's what he sells. This is, in my estimation, it's a Clean Canteen.
Yeah.
Probably made by Clean.
It is 32 ounces. Clean Canteen does not sell anything in 32 ounces, unfortunately. It is, if you look inside, and you see the seal where they welded the seam
Oh, the same, yeah.
all the way up the side on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
That has been known to fail. Where the backpacker, the weld is at the lip. There's nothing up the side. The weld's right here on the lip. It's just been molded, so that's a solid piece of metal that's not been welded.
So that's pressed then.
So
That's much better.
That being said, I know that the 38 ounce Nalgene is heavier and holds less water than the 40 ounce Clean Canteen. So if you're concerned about weight and volume, Clean
Yes.
Canteen has some advantages.
pros and cons. So what would be the best? It's kind of an opinion thing. For a long time, I liked the bot, and it's titanium. I carry my stuff in here, and it's a secondary cup container. That's your cup, and you can make char cloth like that without. Yeah, you don't want to seal when you're making char cloth. You don't want to seal that down hard because then you just made a bomb. Okay. So what are the uses? You said medicinal, making medicines, cooking food, possibly
water.
boiling water.
Purify it.
You
Purify other things.
You can
sterilize.
carry things also. So with this lip, you can lower it and bring it back to get your water if you can't get to the source. You can get the cup or the container to the source and retract it. So there's all kinds of things. There is a
Sean, one
after
thing
the
on that,
Tennessee.
if you're dipping to get water to purify, make sure you clean the rim off.
Yes.
before
And
you
also
drink
you
out
can take the cotton bandana and put it over it, cinch it down with the cord to pre-filter sort of.
Make particulate filter.
Yeah.
You can purge your bottle too.
What's that?
Purge it.
Yeah, that's what he said. You need to after you boil it for a while, you need to open it up and let some water drain out to clean the
Thread.
rim. And so after the 10 Cs, there's 5 more redundancies. And they are a second cutting tool. And this I know for sure. The best second cutting tool in the world is, if I can get it out, a Bahco Laplander. You do any kind of research, and that's what they'll tell you.
Do you really consider a saw to be a replacement to a cutting tool, as opposed to another knife?
Redundant.
Well, redundant is to replace one if it breaks, right?
Or
That's why it's redundant. Otherwise, it's just a separate tool. So if it's a secondary,
That's what he said.
I mean, I would say, in my opinion, that a multi-tool makes a good redundant tool. It has a blade on it that's actually a redundant blade.
And you are totally
my own
free to
opinion.
make up your own kits. These are just suggestions. This is just what was presented to me by Mr. Canterbury. So, but that being said, a pack saw, I wouldn't get anything else. Everything else will break pretty much.
You don't get
Those are
Gerber.
great.
Guaranteed.
Pretty good.
Originals though, yeah. Bought one.
So after secondary cutting tool is secondary container. Here we'll use his. So you use your secondary container. You can. He likes to do. Get the water. Boil, pour, boil, pour. Okay. Also, you put the cotton bandana in there. Put that over it. Set it in the fire. The smoke will come out through the bottom of the cup, and you make charcoal for future fires.
There's stove on there too.
And this one also has a pack stove.
Is that new?
Yeah, it's brand new.
I've never seen it. That must be something new to his line. Because I have that model and everything.
That's cool.
Pack stove.
Oh.
That's not part of the.
Sean, speaking of redundancies, your 55-gallon liner is also a container.
55. You dig a hole, you put the bag in the hole, or even a cardboard box, and you can put water in it. It'll hold water. Carry. You find a field full of berries, things like this. It's up to your imagination. This is limitless. Third redundancy is so you want to take care of your knife. You want to keep it sharp. A sharpening rod. I'd show you my
Oh
old
yeah.
one.
What I have. It's mine now.
But that they no longer make. I can't replace.
I wonder why they don't make that.
But they make this, which is even smaller. Gotta make you jealous, man.
I'm not seeing that one.
That's nice.
The red's on there.
Easy
Red
lap.
like that.
Okay. This one actually, one of the suggestions is don't carry anything unless it has at least 3 uses. Okay. So
Stab you in the
sharpen, stab you in the eye. No. This rod, if you have some tubing, and I'm gonna get to that in a second, you can blow a bowl, burn a bowl out of a log. If you're gonna do primitive.
Primitive surgical tubing.
Just an idea. Just an idea. So, fourth redundancy is slingshot bands, which you would attach to the end. And, also, you can use it to collect small game. You can use it as a tourniquet in an emergency. Many, many uses. Hawaiian sling, different things like this. And then the fourth one is 2% tincture iodine, which I carry in a pill bottle, because these have been known to smash if you fall down that mountain. And maybe you could collect a few of the drops, but at least it won't stain the cargo bag you're carrying. And you have to put it in upside down. This is just one of my tips and tricks that I do.
What are the purposes of iodine?
So this 10 drops. If the water is very questionable, I think it's 5 if it's clean.
5 per quart. get more than that.
32 ounces of water to purify it. Also medical uses. Also, if you have an issue with iodine, you can skip this one. Don't use
Yeah,
it.
my wife is highly allergic to iodine. I was going to ask, what's the alternative to? What about the little?
You
You
would
were saying
carry the
something
little
about
pills,
the
or the little tablets.
Oh, they're
Or
not.
non-iodine. I mean, they have other
The
chemicals.
chlorine. There's chlorine tablets.
But there's not like iodine or anything in there, right?
They make a chlorine dioxide.
They do make iodine tabs, but they also
Yeah.
make different chemicals, such as chlorine dioxide, which is not iodine.
And it's
Kills
not
stuff in a
actually
different
chlorine either.
Iodine doesn't kill
Technically not chlorine.
COO2.
Say what?
I don't think iodine kills cryptosporidium, does it?
It doesn't kill everything.
No,
It does not kill everything. Just so you know. The best way to purify water is to boil it, and bubbles equal no trouble. And some people say boil it for at least 5 minutes. Morris Kochanski, one of the fathers of bushcraft. So survival is a calorie game that you want to maintain your calories. We should have went over the rules of 3. They say you can live about 3 minutes without oxygen, 3 days without water, 3 weeks without food,
3 hours of shelter.
3 hours without shelter, and 3 seconds without a positive mental attitude. I love that one. All right, so you don't need food. I mean, eventually, yes, you will need food, but in a survival situation, 3 days, you don't really. You'll live. You'll have a headache. You might not be the nicest person to be around, but you'll still live. Water is way more important. So there's another acronym. Please remember what's first. Protection, rescue, water, food, in that order. Okay?
I want to hear about your bandana.
Okay, so going over my tips and tricks. I did post a picture on the site. I think it's kind of humorous, but originally when we took the class here with Dave Canterbury, he said carry a 3-foot by 3-foot bandana. Good luck finding that, but because they don't make them. I mean, the biggest I think they make is 27 inches by 27. That's not quite 3 foot. But the point is, carry cotton. The closest thing that is 3 foot by 3 foot is a schmall. So it's very thin cotton. That's pretty big, right? Yeah, that'll work. And there's many uses. I mean, hundreds and hundreds.
Many names too.
Many names.
All through the Middle East have different names.
Kifah, schmall, all kinds of things. They're wonderful. I highly recommend them. Carry bandana. Now in the new thing that he printed is 2 foot by 2 foot. He went down, but even a regular bandana is not 2 foot by 2 foot. This is 22 inches by 22 inches. Okay. So they do make oversized bandanas from I got this one from Sweden. New old stock. Smelled like it was from World War II. Yeah, I had to wash it 3 times to get the smell. But it's a little bit bigger. Okay?
Where do you get those at?
I got this from Sportsman's Guy.
Oh.
You got about like 10. They're a pretty good price. They do make oversized bandanas. You can get them from, I think I got this one from Michael's. This white one. Pretty big. It's about as big as the green one from Sweden. But I recommend you carry, for signaling, carry another shirt. Go get if you're a 2X like me, get a 3X, get a 4X. 100% cotton, the brightest orange you can find. Okay? That's about as big as any of those, and it's a lot heavier material. Oh, great, I'm lost, I need help. Put this on. They'll find you, they'll see you. If you don't need it to be found, you need it to make a char cloth, cut it up. use it as all the other uses of the bandana. You actually have two bandanas. You cut it down the seams on the side.
Another layer to throw
Just another tip and trick.
on. Even underneath your clothes. You don't
Another layer of cover. A signaling device. Multiple uses. That is key.
You could probably tie it off, make a bag out of it.
Yeah. Hundreds. Yeah. What they call what's the bandana you bring all four corners? It's a hobo.
Hobo.
Put it on a stick.
Thing.
Walk the rail tracks. You'll eventually find something. Another one of my tips for carrying compass. Oh, this is what is recommended now by the Pathfinder School. K&R compass. It's the Alpine, I think. Alpine. It's not Alpine because there's no E. There's no
Yeah,
E. Alpine?
I don't know.
So this is what he suggests. He likes the mirror because it has, you can signal. You can signal. You can check yourself for
Yeah,
tips.
pretty look.
Yep. This one's really nice because it's oil filled and it's soft. So there's no, almost guaranteed no bubbles. And it also has a magnifying glass that can start a fire. And what I do is I take off that little lanyard. Lanyards are cool, but pace beads and then a whistle at the end. So even more multi-purposes. Another tip and trick.
Quick explanation on pacing beads.
So you have to figure out what your pace, walk 100 paces, or no, walk 100 yards, and get your pace count. I think mine is 93 for 100 yards. So so every time you go 100 yards, you count 90. I would count 90. You would count something else because your legs will be shorter or longer or whatever. Every time you get to 100 yards, you'd pull a bottom bead down, okay? So once you get to, there's 100, 200, 300, 1,000, right? That's one. They all go back. Because there's only 9 here. That would be 1,000. And then do it all over again. That's how
meters are concerned, kilometers.
Do it?
So if you do meters instead of yards or whatever, do it in kilometers.
Yes.
Depending on what your math
But
is
then I would
set
have
up
to do math, and that would be
I go with easier
not.
math.
I'm trying to dumb this down.
But
What would that come in handy for?
Knowing distance
And if you wanted to get back to where you came from?
and how far did I travel so I can get back?
of course, inconsistent on uphill, downhill, level ground.
Yes, very much so. Very much so. Off subject, but I recommend if you are navigating for a distance, every once in a while, turn around and look where you came. So if you do come back that way, you'll recognize it. Just another tip. Okay? Oh, yeah.
You can carry a pencil sharpener.
Little fat wood. Just shave off some fat wood and makes an easy fire. That's another tip and trick of mine.
If you're lucky, you can find the old ones that were actually made out of metal. Back in the day.
Yeah, that's just a plastic container. I like that, so I have them stored. So, Mr. Sean can, no, you probably get there. I want you to cut this paracord. Please.
Cut the paracord.
Yeah, will you cut the paracord?
Sure.
No, can't use your knife.
Oh, okay. A friction cut, perhaps?
Ah, boom, I knew he would get it. So, you can use the paracord to cut the paracord. See, I want this length. Right about there. Maybe I should grab a little. Sliding up.
Do a second wrap on your foot.
Does that work on bank lines?
Supposedly, I've never tried it. I can keep it in one spot. So, for time, you see that that's eating its way through
It's spraying, huh?
eventually. But then you're burning up calories, so carry a knife. That's your first cutting tool. For cargo tape, he recommends the Gorilla Tape. He recommends a full roll if you can manage it. So one of the tips that I do when I go to Kentucky Fried Chicken, I save the containers because right on it says reusable. So I reuse it and I put Gorilla Tape, the handy pack. It fits right in there perfectly. Okay? Right in the hole of the roll, I put some flagging tape. There's at least 20 feet there. And dental floss, unwaxed, 100 yards, right there. Okay? And I know it'll hold at least 20 pounds. Dental floss will. On top of that, I carry an alcohol prep pad. And you could probably carry more. I'm sure it would fit. This is a great fire starter. You just make a little X. I actually have two here. Like that. And kind of fluff up the pad. Like that. And it's probably lit.
It's burning.
Yeah, it's burning.
Yeah.
See it, yeah.
It'll burn for a while. A good minute, I know.
Pretty good.
There. Thanks for the comment. Alright. One of the shelter items that I carry, it's a new item, I haven't tested it, but my good friend has, it's a land shark. And it's a big bag. And they call it land shark because land or sea. If you read the directions, it's kind of humorous, but it still works. They suggest if you're in the water, the sharks won't be able to detect you, and you should go ahead and use the bathroom while you're still in the bag, so they can't smell your and or detect you. So I thought that was kind of humorous. And it's like, yes, if a shark came around, the bag would become a toilet, and pretty much immediately in my case.
Uncontrollably.
Fill it full of water. But in the wild, in our use, it'd just be a shelter. It's a big bag, huge bag, and it actually cinches up real small, and it's orange on the outside, and it's not multicam, it's digicam on the inside, and you can turn it inside out. And then you can hide from the police, and they won't be able to find you with infrared detectors. That's what I understand.
The whole point is it hides your body heat.
This is just jokes. Don't hide from the police. Well, maybe you should. I don't know.
Hide from the police, too.
Any questions so far? No?
Do you have any thermal optics for us to test it this season?
So, the candling device, I think he's using a Princeton Tech, but he used to use a Petzl, the Tactica, the one that had the sliding lens. he does recommend you at least 70 lumens LED. He does recommend LED. He likes standard batteries, like normal batteries you can find anywhere, AA or AAA. Also flashing and ability to change color as a signaling device. But there's another use for headlamps. It can also be a fire starter. And I really shouldn't use an end loop for this. But you can you take steel wool.
We got alkaline.
You touch the positive and just a little bit.
Yeah.
Here you go.
Oh yeah, we're really gonna create a fire now.
1, 2, 3.
You just kind of make it thin, stretch that.
For the record, you could use it in a loop. They're just expensive.
Well, I don't know.
There it goes.
Just like that.
You blew over it.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Oh, sorry. All right. So there are other things, not to confuse you, but I will. You ever heard of the 5 B's that I invented? No. I just made it up. Beer, blade, glaze, bowl, bivvy, and bondage. Binding, sorry. That's another list for later on.
That's hinky.
That's where the bamboo comes in.
That's right. So, all this, when I was doing the research and putting all my tips and tricks, I also carry a little container because I carry multiple needles, magnetized, multiple uses. You drop it on a leaf in some water, it'll show you magnetic north. But anyway, as I was doing my research, and it's like, this is all gear, and I know we're all gear oriented, and it's awesome, and I love gear. But the survival pyramid, has anyone ever heard of that?
No.
Okay, yeah, it was new to me also. It's kind of a upside down pyramid because the bottom, it should be at the bottom, the smallest thing, is gear. That should be your first step. You know, everyone gets gear, and then the next thing is they learn how to use their gear, and then from that they gain knowledge and become experienced and skillful. But there's something above that, the biggest thing. If you truly get into a survival situation, there's something within you that it has to be there. It has to come out. I'll give you an example. So, have you ever heard of Aaron Ralston? He fell, got his arm between a boulder, a rock in a hard place, right? That's the name of the book. And he was there 127 hours. And
There's a movie about it.
Yeah, everyone knows. Decided, hey, I need to self-rescue. No one's coming to get me. Cut his arm off. But what motivated him to do that was, I don't know if he was starting to hallucinate from lack of food or water. He imagined his unborn child. Okay? He saw his son. He didn't exist yet. And it motivated him. So that is the biggest thing, the will to survive. You get in a survival situation. You have to put your brain there. If you say, well, I've had a good life, it's been fun, you're done. No, and if you don't survive for yourself, you have to think of others to get yourself out. You know, people who are depending on you and relying on you. Even if you have to think about future things. Fathers walking their daughter down the aisle, dancing with them at their wedding. You know, things like this. Not to get... But it's very important. It's very important. I hope none of us have to experience that, but I had a friend who you can use other things to motivate you. He had an enemy. He just hated this guy, and he wanted to live longer than this guy, so he could roll over his grave in his wheelchair and dump his colostomy bag. Whatever it takes to motivate you to get out of the situation and survive. That is all I'm saying. And I thank you. Are there any questions?
One more, since you're heading fees, looking at Atlanta last year, Kentucky last week, always carry some critical meds in your pack. So if you're stuck out somewhere, if you're diabetic or have pills or any kind of medicine that you need to take, if you're stuck out on a freeway for 2-3 days, nobody can get to you.
Like a snowpocalypse last year.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you weren't working and getting second chances.
Thanks, Sean.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, bravo. This is all giveaway stuff, right?
Nope.
I
This is not a
man.
great decision.